A one-man protester on Parliament Hill in Canada, and he's here doing his one-man protest. He's going to tell you how I feel most Canadians feel by popular polls. And he was here to tell North America what's going on here in Canada.
My name's Ian Bell. I'm in Montreal. I'm on Parliament Hill. I'm waging a one-man protest against the emergency health measures. I'm in Montreal. I refuse to wear the mask. So I refuse to wear the mask because there is no science that states or that proves that their masks are effective against the alleged virus, which is SARS-CoV-2, and protect against the contracting the disease, which is COVID-19. So in Montreal, because I refuse to wear the mask, I'm denied access to all public and private services. I haven't seen my doctor in 18 months. I haven't been able to see my dentist in 18 months. I can't go into a pharmacy. I can't go anywhere. I can't go into restaurants. And to make all of this even more ludicrous is last summer in Montreal, we have a hill in the middle of the Montreal, which is called a park, Montreal Park. I tried to go into the washroom there, and the security guard said, no, you're not allowed to come into the washroom. So I'm denied access to public washrooms. So I'm essentially, my position right now is the government has no science in which it's basing any of the emergency health measures. I've come to Parliament Hill, and my position is I'm asking the government, show me your science. It doesn't have to necessarily agree with what I believe is the science behind COVID. I'm simply challenging the government to produce its science. Now, here's the catch. When I come to a city, backtrack a bit, in Montreal I have family to support me. They're willing to buy food and they're willing to buy water for me, so I'm able to survive. So I depend on family in Montreal to survive. When I come to a different city such as Ottawa, where I don't have family to support me, I'm on my own. Because I refuse to wear the mask, I'm denied access to grocery stores. I cannot buy food and water. I cannot buy food from restaurants. So I've brought 7 days worth of food to me to Ottawa. I'm here for 14 days. I'm demanding that the government provide me with the science which it claims it is basing the emergency health measures on. To keep this short, for the first week of my 2-week protest, if the government ignores me, I have food and water for the first week. In the second week of my protest, if the government continues to ignore me, I expect to die, because I will be without food and water.
So it's basically a hunger strike, right?
No, it's not a hunger strike.
Oh, it's
I want to eat, I want to drink, I want to live, but I'm not allowed by law to buy food and water without the mask. There's no proof that the masks are effective against this virus or protecting against the acquiring or contracting the disease itself. So I'm in Ottawa right now. I cannot buy food and water. I have brought food and water for a whole week. Who else comes to a different city and is required to bring food and water? Normally you can go to Costco, Walmart, Loblaws and buy your food and water. You don't have to bring 7 days worth of food and water such as I am. So here I am, first weekend of the protest. I have food and water. It's just uncomfortable. I have to sleep on the street because I can't go into a hotel room. So I'm literally sleeping out in the street right inside of the American Embassy. The second week that I'm here, I do not have food and water. If the government chooses to ignore me again, it's very unlikely that I'm going to walk out of here alive. I don't expect to survive because according to all the medical documents we have right now, if you go without water for 3 or 4 days, you're just not going to survive. So I'm taking a stand right now, and I'm simply saying to the government, you're ruining our lives, you're destroying our economies. Show me the science, show all Canadians the science. We need to understand this, because without this information, we're just walking blindly and assuming that you're telling us the truth. So I'm turning to the government, I'm turning to Trudeau, and I'm saying, show us the science. Now, if the government shows me the science, whether I agree with it or not, I terminate my protest and I immediately walk off the hill, and they'll never see me again.
Has any government officials conversed with you about this?
No, I've not been contacted by any government officials.
Have you seen any pass by here?
Yes, I'll get to that in a second. Now,
okay.
I've couriered information about my protest to the major political parties, which is the Bloc, the Conservatives, the Liberals, the Green, the NDP, and the People's Party of Canada. So I've couriered this information to them. I've actually sent them 2 emails. They know I'm here. The Liberal Party in particular, the clerk or whoever received my email acknowledged that they understand the context of my protest. So they are aware I'm here. Now yesterday, Maxime Bernier walked by, and Chris actually went up to Maxime Bernier and said, "Are you aware of the protest?" And Maxime said yes, but he had possibly other things to do, so he did not come and talk with us. I've heard, and I haven't confirmed this yet, that the PPC has actually put word of the protest on their Facebook page. I have yet to confirm that, but no other political party has actually attempted to contact.
Or media, eh?
Or media. No, I've actually contacted Rebel News, Dan Dix, Chris Sky. We are all natural allies. We're all fighting in this together, and we should be cooperating and working as one against these guys over here. So yes, by all means, feel free to send this tape to anybody you please. The message is for all Canadians. All Canadians will want to know what is the science that the government is
All
using
North
to destroy.
Americans, not just Canadians.
Yes, this has worldwide implications, but right now I'm only speaking for Canadians. Show us the science in which you're using to impose these restrictive lockdowns on us, because we know that as of next month in Ontario alone, there will be hundreds of thousands of people forced out of work. We know across Canada there's going to be millions of people. I've had teachers come to me and they say, "I'm not going to be able to feed my children. I won't be able to pay my bills." I've had a young angry man come to me the other day and he said he's at the end of his limits and he's prepared to use any measure at this point to retaliate. People are angry. They're basically put up against the wall. And by the way, when you force people to choose between a jab and their job, that's extortion. And I believe it's section 346 or 326 of the Canadian Criminal Code. That's illegal. That's a crime. You can't do that to people. And then to turn to people on top of that and say, if you don't have these jabs, you're now a second-class citizen. The government of Canada on their website has already stated they're prepared to buy 409 million doses. That means on average, there's only 38 million Canadians. That means on average, we're looking at, with a little bit of spoilage and wastage, 10 doses per Canadian. Now, right now, there's only 2 doses that people have been required to take to claim that they are they're vaccinated. But we're looking at additional 8 doses, boosters, every single year moving forward. This is a far cry from what Bill Gates originally said was one dose for a lifetime immunity. So the government is ruining our economy, it's destroying our lives. We're going to be forced to take additional doses, and all those who have had 2 doses injections so far, if they refuse to take the additional doses, they're back to square one with all of those who refuse to take any. So what we're seeing is the goalpost is constantly being moved, and all I'm asking of the government is show us the science on which you're basing all these emergency measures. And it's as simple as that. Show us the science, come down here, give me the science, post it on your websites, and I will leave immediately. I'll terminate my post and I'll disappear and they'll never see from me again. On the other hand, if they ignore me, we have to now start forcing the government that if they ignore us, there must be a high price that they will pay. But right now, my issue is simply the government has been ignoring thousands of protest groups across Canada for 18 months. They've been ignoring me because there have been no stakes that will force them to listen to us. What I'm doing right now is I'm changing the rules of the game such that if they ignore us, I'm increasing the stakes that they will have to pay, and that stake is going to be my life. I'm drawing the line in the sand right now and saying, you're destroying our lives, you're destroying our economy, it's your turn to provide us with the science, with the information we need to understand what you're doing. And I feel reasonably confident at this point they have no science. So I really have nothing more to say than that. I'm saying to the government, show us the science. If you don't, I'm upping the stakes. There's a price that they will have to pay, and that price is going to be my life. And compared to the extortion that the government is imposing across Canada and the world, jab or no job, 2-tier society, my demand of saying if you don't give in to my demands, you're taking my body off the hill, that's not extreme by any measure. I'm simply a Canadian citizen saying, I'm making a reasonable request. There's no reason for you to refuse this request. If you do, there's a price to pay, and my life is that price. This is an important point. We have millions of Canadians across Canada that are preparing to fight about that. They will disagree with jab or job. They recognize that's wrong. They will recognize that a 2-tier society is wrong. We can get the majority of Canadians to agree on those points. The problem is we have the numbers for a street army. We have that street army that can Come and fight against our government policies. The one thing we're lacking right now is organization. My message to the people of Canada and to the world is unite the street. Come together.
So we have to organize.
We have the numbers to form that army right now. We have the boots on the ground. What we're desperately lacking is the organizational infrastructure to make that happen. So the message is simple: unite the street. Chris Guy is talking about united non-compliance. That's moving in the right direction. The goal is unite the street. Now, whatever term you use, it doesn't matter. Whatever slogan you, doesn't matter. As long as all Canadians recognize that it means coming together, working together as a common front to challenge these fraudulent emergency health measures. Unite the street. That's the key message to drive home to Canadians. Now, here's the thing. If we get 15 to 20 million Canadians saying unite the street in their everyday conversation, we naturally have leaders in our ranks that will step forward and know how to unite this street. We will have the lawyers, we will have businessmen, we will have the soldiers, we will have those people that will step up and know how to bring the 15 to 20 million people together. What we need to do right now is start saying in every part of our conversation, unite the street. There is no political solution. Let me repeat that. There is no political solution. Maxime Bernier was saying all the right things that we wanted. Unfortunately, he tripled his popular vote, but he doesn't have any seats in the parliament. So there is no political solution to these emergency health measures. They're destroying the economy. There's a long game that's being played out now. The only solution now will come from us. The only solution, the person that's going to lead you will be the person you see in the mirror. The only thing that's lacking is the conviction to work towards bringing this all together. There's nothing more that I can say at this point. I'm simply saying, show me the science. We are rising across Canada. We are rising across the world, and we are no longer going to tolerate and give the government a blank check that says it can do what it wants with us. I'm simply taking the first step, which is saying, show us the science. Once we have that information, there are many more steps. This is just the first step.
Okay, can you tell the viewers your website so they can get some more information on it?
Certainly. The name of my website is virusfraud.org. I just started in July of this year. Again, the website is virusfraud.org. The purpose of the website is not to provide additional information. It's not to change your opinion, whatever that opinion may be. The purpose of my website is primarily to bring together those people that think like me and think like us. So the goal is to essentially start uniting the street. It's starting in my own community, and from that community, the objective is to then spread that beyond Montreal, beyond Quebec, and across Canada.
I need your email address. I'll send you a copy of this too.